The radio episode 37, I believe. Got, bro, I don't want to say the third biggest because, you know, there's different types of big, and you're the biggest in terms of social media. And, bro, thank you very much, and I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a bit long overdue.
It is long overdue. And for those people that can't, I thought that glass was cracked there for a second. For those people that can't see you, you know, there's people that are listening to the audio. Who are you?
Yeah.
If they don't know your voice already.
Thank you, Jesse, for having me.
Of course.
My name is Jaco de Bruyn, and I am a competitive athlete. Done extremely well in the sport. You know, bodybuilding and fitness is a big part of my life, and just really love what I do, and I love building the sport up and you know, creating opportunities for people that share the same passion as me.
Yeah, but you say competitive athlete. I would say you're more of like a celebrity on social media than actually a competitor. Because I think you've got more claim to social media. Obviously, you've done exceptionally well in competing, but I think if the majority of people, other than, you know, the people in the niche fitness industry, know you as, you know, Jaco de Bruyn on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just going to move this a bit closer.
I'm
There you go.
obviously very fortunate to have a big following, and I think it's a lot to do with me investing in myself back in the day, making sure that I go to events all around the world and be seen, and building a network, and, you know, meeting all the top athletes all around the world was, I think, played a huge favor for me in building my name and my career. Competitive, meaning that, you know, there was a small little gap where I didn't compete for 4 years, but it's something that's always been part of me. I wouldn't say it is because of my competing that, you know, I have achieved all my accolades.
Yeah.
I think it's more to do with my passion for the sport, and, you know, just being entrepreneurial and try and build whatever I touch from scratch to something that actually exists.
Yeah. Just apologizing for the dog. If you guys can hear that dog.
He's singing along.
There's literally no one to keep this dog under control, so I apologize for that if you are hearing that. So, bro, that's also, you say consistency, and, you know, there's nothing, you can't achieve anything. We even spoke about it before. There's nothing that you can achieve without consistency. How have you know, you have to stay consistently good. Your body has to look good. How have you dealt with having to look, you know, shredded all the time?
For me, obviously, I had so many opportunities thrown at me at a very early stage of my career. You know, I competed back in 2011 was my first time. I did Bodybuilder for Fitness SA, and what was the other one? There was another one, 3. But anyway, long story short, did really well in those comps. And, you know, I just never, because I was so passionate about what I do and I love the sport, and then you win a show and then you walk away there with a haircut, a free haircut, or a tub of protein.
Half a tub.
that expires in a month.
Yeah.
And it's just, I could never comprehend why the sport didn't excel as much as the shows that I've followed for years internationally. And that's why I decided that I knew something, I had something, and I did well at what I did back in the day. And that's why I wanted to, you know, I wanted to be more and receive more from being this individual that does so well. And I'm not talking just by myself. I'm talking about, my vision was for everybody that had the same passion. That's why I went overseas to go compete. And then obviously won my pro status there in Las Vegas. But so that's what I meant by saying I got amazing opportunities very, very early in my year. I never had the opportunity to really know and feel the sport on home grounds.
Yeah.
But also grabbed the opportunities that I got internationally. And I think that's why I really invested a lot of my time. It cost me a bit of money to be at all the events until I obviously got fully ambassadorship from brands over there that obviously helped you know, be part of their stands and expos.
So how long did you say you invested in yourself to go to these expos and, you know, be present there, even though you weren't being paid to do it?
Sure. I think probably about 3 years. Then there was a slight return on investment started happening, people approaching you, people flying you over to be at the expo. just after that year that Muscle Model was born in WFF, was also the first year that I've done Muscle Model,
Okay.
along with AJ Allison, name out a few. And I think that put most of us at that stage on pedestals as well, because these are the muscle models of the world. And then I did my first Worlds there, where I placed them third next to AJ Allison and Wittenberg.
Yes,
Adolf
yes,
Wittenberg.
yes.
And that was an amazing achievement for me. This is my first Worlds, and just placing in the top 3 was, I think it opened a lot of doors for me. That was the same year when EHP Labs also approached me. And 6 years later, I'm still with them.
So you've been with them for 6 years now?
6 years now, yeah.
And they're the Australian brand, eh?
Australian brand, born and bred, but they manufacture from Fort Lauderdale.
Okay,
Yeah,
Florida.
Yeah.
So you've invested in yourself, and you invested in paying for yourself to go to these expos, and obviously it's paid off.
Yeah.
Is that something that's also something you do in social media? Like even right now, you've invested in your own home gym.
Yeah.
Is that something you've obviously always done, is invest in yourself, and knowing even though I'm spending a lot of money now, it's going to pay off eventually?
Yeah. Well, staying fit and healthy is, you would know, it's a big part of our lives. Obviously with the lockdown, 7 weeks in, just training with bands became a bit monotonous, and I really got bored and depressed. It's something that I think is more the uncertainty and didn't know what's happening, and being a business owner in a few businesses, it's a lot of stress, and it's stress that people don't usually see, and it's stress that I don't usually show on my Instagram or social media. But we're all human, so I was just sitting in my kitchen one night, and I was looking at this one room in my house, and I know we never used that room, and I just walked up to my wife and I said, listen, that's going to be a gym in a week. And it cost me a bit of money, and I just built a gym. I'm still every time I walk in there, I want something else, and I'm just adding. But I've really made it nice because it's part of my house. So I wanted people to, if they come ever to visit me, that it's, it's just as neat as any other room in the house. So, I'm very happy. I mean, like I've mentioned to you earlier, it's my safe haven, and it's just, I'm very, very happy I've done it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's investing in yourself, and it's something that also, people see on social media. Then they're like, have you seen Jaco's gym? If people come to your house, it's like an attraction that they come look at my gym, look at the studio that I've built up. And even though gyms are open, I think a lot of people now are still going to want to train at home because they've kind of adapted to it, and they've kind of preferred it actually.
Yeah. Obviously, I've got a lot of connections in the gym equipment world. And, these guys are telling me that people are still buying and building their home gyms. So I think it's going to be a new trend. I think a lot of people would rather, or a lot of people are still uncertain. They would rather just train at home.
Yeah.
I think a lot of personal trainers that has been without a job took the opportunity to go to people's houses. So the people that does have the capability of building home gyms, also created job opportunities for personal trainers to come and train them in their personal capacity.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a big change, although there's already been a big change. I mean, is that going to be the new normal? You never know. If you look at gyms now, they're still pretty empty.
Yeah, well, luckily now you don't have to wear a mask in Virgin Active,
Yeah,
which is a big bonus. I mean, I've been
nice.
Training at Virgin here, and I went 5 p.m., which is obviously normally peak hour, and there was 15 people in the gym. Quite, so if that's peak hour, I don't think it's, maybe by the end of the year next year, then it's going to pick up and more people will be going to the gyms.
Well, let's hope so. I'm just very happy that the industry has opened. I think it's good for all of our businesses, especially everything that we involved with. It's very fitness orientated. So I'm just happy that we're moving in a direction where there's some positivity. And,
you being in the fitness industry and competing, and if you do a show, you get nothing technically in return in terms of monetary value, other than more followers. How important have you found it to obviously diversify your businesses so that you can still compete, because you can't just compete and that's the only way you get money?
I think that's very important, and I would love to collaborate on that. being who I am in the industry is not because of competing. You know, if I had to add what I've done, 5% would be because of competing, because I haven't won a lot of shows. You know, I've always placed well in the top 5 in all the shows that I've done. For me, competing is just, you know, loving the sport and knowing that I also, to my people and especially my clients as well, the most important thing for me leading up is that process leading up to a show,
100%.
because that's where the hard work comes in, and nothing ever is achievable if you don't work hard. So that's the part that I love, you know, starting from point A and ending at point B, and just putting yourself and testing your own capability and your discipline and your determination to get to that certain point. You know, everybody wants to win, and there's always going to be a disappointment because you put yourself, you raise standards for yourself that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
But also, like, I've learned from very early on in my career that you know, winning is not always everything. Is it mine?
I don't know what that is, but it's fine. It's gone now. Hopefully it doesn't come back.
It's the process, and it's what you take from it. You always need to prepare yourself, winning or losing.
Yeah.
Was I answering your question there?
Kind of.
Okay.
It was also it was just So it was also just the importance of, you know, business, and you know, because I was actually chatting to a guy yesterday at the gym, and he was like, "What's up, bro? I want to compete. What should I do? And, you know, can you make a living off it?"
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't make a living off just competing.
Never. That's I get that quite asked a lot on you know, email and DMs. Like, people want to know how did I get to where I am, and can they get paid for the sport that I do. Unfortunately, in South Africa, no. I don't think so. I don't think brands got enough capital to invest, and I'm not saying they should. You know, there's I think the industry has changed quite a bit. Now, even international brands, I don't think they pay the athletes what they used to pay us back in the day, because, you know, there's this fluctuate of people on social media now that everybody claims they're what do you call it? Either international fitness model or, you know,
everyone's an online coach, and, you know,
everybody's got a status.
Yes, yeah.
So it's become hard for brands to filter through these people and knowing who the real deal is. And you know, I'm not saying it's wrong if you put you tag yourself as a fitness athlete or international, but you got to prove to yourself as well and to the world that, you know, you've actually done the walk.
Yeah.
And you've got accolades, and you've got proven record that you have really worked hard to be where you are. So I think that became difficult for brands. So and, you know, only after my 3rd or 4th year I really got paid by my sponsors. But like I said, I was also very fortunate when I started competing in 2011 that Instagram also started. So, you know, the algorithms and everything back then played a massive role in getting followers. I mean, when after my first 2 shows that I've won, I literally gained up to 5,000 followers a day. You know, a lot has changed since then.
Yeah, a lot has changed since then.
It's crazy how, but obviously social media and like Instagram, for example, had to put these algorithms in place. Otherwise, it will just be bombarded with people that's got, you know, over millions of followers.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for people now to get seen and to put themselves out there on social media platforms.
You were over 1 million, hey?
I was over 1 million, yeah.
And then I think that was just before the algorithm changed, hey?
Algorithm changed. Yeah, I reached 1 million. I even made a video of that. And I think about a week after that, the algorithm changed. I think it's about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I'm on 980 now. But it goes up, and it's like, it's frustrating. You know, especially if you had these figures always, and, you know, it's hard for me to not put attention to that, because you will go crazy.
Yeah.
So just do what you do, and, you know, I haven't changed the way I've approached my content. You know, it's still the same.
What is your approach? Like, what is your particular method that you try? You know, portray
with
yourself.
with Instagram, you know, if you look at my Instagram, you look at my TikTok, it's two completely different people. Not different people, but I approach the
You
the
play
content.
towards the platform.
Yes, 100%. So my Instagram is just since day one is just trying to.
Are you wearing a watch?
No. Could it be that phone?
It could be.
Anyway, is it?
Maybe just put it on. Yeah, it is that. That's what happens when you're big on social media. You're gonna get lots of interference that's coming through because you're permanently getting replies to DMs. You're permanently. Now he's panicking now. There we go. You see, it was your phone. That just shows, guys. The first guest in here whose phone went completely haywire with all the equipment because that's how popular the man is.
What were we talking about?
You were talking about playing towards the social.
Yes.
Your TikTok being different.
So my Instagram is mostly I want to post professional content, and always be in shape.
Yes.
I don't think I've posted maybe one photo where I'm not out of shape. Well, where I am out of shape, but it's for me. It's what I did back in the day, and I think that's what I'm also known for around the world is just always be in shape. So that's my approach on Instagram. Stories on Instagram is purely just a day in my life. Like I will post absolutely everything, what I eat. It could be sometimes boring for a lot of people because it might be the same thing over and over. But that's who I am and that's what you see and that's, it's my wife, it's my kids, it's my life, gym.
Yeah, which is nice. There's a lot of people that don't believe in putting their family on social media, and I understand in terms of kids, and I understand in terms of maybe you don't want your kid being shown, but if you do, that's 100% fine. And also the biggest thing for me is when these female Instagram celebrities maybe don't show their spouse, and deliberately don't show their significant other. And I think I don't know how I would feel as being the male in that situation, knowing that my girlfriend's basically, marketing herself to all these guys.
That's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think everybody's got their own approach. Me of all people, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I've always been like that. As I want everybody to do well in this sport. My thing is just if you claim you're a fitness model, then I feel you have to compete. You can't be, if you don't compete, then you're a model. So, it's just little things that would sometimes annoy me. But there's also a handful of athletes that phenomenally well and never competed. A lot of international people that I've met. We're struggling with it.
Sorry guys, there's so much going on today. Having the house being painted. And now the guys decided to,
hit the nail.
I think I'm genuinely going to pause this podcast and go tell him to stop. We'll see you guys in 1 second.